everybody. I'm Maddie,
I'm Casey.
and we are Vacations by Casey and Maddie. Today, we are talking about our trip to Disneyland Paris back in October of 2024.
Yeah, and before we get into it, we just want to um, again bring up we all are also our travel agents through Vacations by Casey through Academy Travel. So please, if you are wanting any assistance with your vacation, whether it comes to Disney Cruise Line, Disneyland Paris, Disneyland, California, Disney World, Universal, all those things, we'd love to be able to help you. It is free at no cost to you. Disney pays our commission, so it is nothing to you guys. You guys just get the help of two very experienced Disney Universal travel agents. So please reach out to us if you need. There will be a form at the bottom and stuff, or in our bio. And then please follow us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of the different things.
Yeah.
Follow us, like, subscribe, all those things.
That is kind of crazy that, not a lot of people realize is that we can book international vacations as well, not just domestic. So,
yeah, we can do all of the Disney parks
mhm.
internationally.
Even Tokyo?
Even Tokyo, we can. It's a little more tricky, but we'll do all the tricky stuff for you.
We'll make it work. Okay, so we wanted to start by talking about how we got to Disneyland Paris. So we flew into Paris and we had about 3 or 4 full days in Paris before we took a train over to Disneyland Paris. The train ride was supposed to be about 45 minutes, right? To an hour?
Approximately about 45 minutes to an hour. We did have some hiccups on it. We were staying near the Notre Dame, whatever we want to call it. And we took a train ride close to one of the stations there. Took the RERA, and you take it towards, I forget what the first part is, but it's something Chessy.
Yes.
And it will say to Disneyland Paris.
Yes, there are Mickey heads like on the signs in the train station, and when in doubt, follow the Mickey faces.
Yeah. My one tip with this, there are 2 trains that go that route towards it, but it eventually will split off. And so you have to make sure you're going to the one with the Mickey. Mickey will be there.
And honestly, there are a lot of great YouTube videos out there of people doing the train ride from Paris to Disneyland Paris that we watched to help prep us. But of course, Casey does all the navigation. I'm not so good at that stuff. He had it all on his phone, and we got there with no problems, except all of a sudden we were maybe like 15 minutes away from Disneyland.
15 minutes, definitely.
And the train just stops. And of course, everything is in French, so we can't understand the announcement being made. And we're just sitting there. And eventually, the doors open and everyone gets off. So, of course, we just follow the crowd. And we're like, okay, are we going to have to get an Uber from here? Like, can we walk from here? What's next step? But everyone was just staying on the platform and waiting and waiting. And I kept being like, there was a couple of other people that had Mickey ears on, so it was obvious that they were going to the park. But it's like, do I ask? Like, I feel stupid. Like,
we're very much those people that don't want to be those tourists who have to ask all the questions. We like to do the research. We like to know. We don't want to really ask too many questions.
But we noticed everyone was just staying put. So we followed the crowd. We stayed put, and eventually that train rolled away and a new one came. And when everyone got on it, we got on it too.
2 trains that came.
Oh, that's right.
One came, and then no one got on it, and then it went by, and then the second one came, and then everyone went on it. We were like, I don't know what they said in French, but we're joining.
We got on it, and we made it. So when in doubt, follow the crowd, or just
all the Mickey ears.
Yeah.
That's the moral of the story right now.
But we made it, and what was really cool is the train station drops you off literally in front of the gates to the park.
Disneyland Paris, like you get there and you're like, oh, I wonder where it's gonna be and stuff, because you can kind of see it. It's kind of like that Disneyland feel if you've been to Disneyland California, where you drive up and you can start seeing like there are Guardians of the Galaxy. Disneyland Paris has Tower of Terror, and you're like, oh, we're close. But then you walk out of the train station, and it's literally right there. You cannot go anywhere else really from that station. Like the next thing in front of you is security to go into the parks.
Yes. So we had all of our luggage with us, and we were staying on property at Sequoia Lodge, which I always recommend Disney property, but I really would recommend it for
Hmm.
Disneyland Paris. But also, we didn't really look into other accommodations. We just
Yeah,
decided we wanted to stay at Disney. So,
yeah. Unless you're only staying for one day, then maybe you don't need to stay on property.
yeah,
Um, because there's really not the point. Part of it, is to be able to wake up early and
and get
utilize it and
there, be able to
stuff. But
walk. Yeah.
we did. We were there for 2 days.
So we got off the train, all of our luggage, and you can either walk through Disney Village, which is like their version of downtown Disney, or Disney Springs to the resort area, or you can take not a van, a bus
Hmm.
over to the resorts, which is what we decided to do because we had all of our luggage.
And we
And
were a little confused.
we were confused because I don't know if construction is still happening over there, but when we were there, they were doing renovations on Disney Village. So it was very confusing finding the
Hmm.
entrance to Disneyland Village.
And part of it was we didn't understand, which we'll talk about when we get to the part where we show up to Sequoia Lodge, that you can't access anything through Disneyland Paris
Hmm.
without going through security.
Which I love,
Yeah, it's great,
but
but we're Disney World people where you show up to the
mhm,
hotel and you just can walk in.
yeah.
And so we thought, oh, if we go through security in front of Disney Village, that means that we're going into the parks and we have our giant suitcases. What are we doing? Little did we know that was actually the way to do it if we wanted to walk.
Yeah. So,
But
yeah.
anyways, back to the
So
shuttles.
asked a very nice cast member. They pointed us to the direction of
Maddie
the
talked in
buses.
French.
I did. I don't speak very much French. Just a few. Basically, do
Phrases.
speak English. Just a few survival phrases. But we made it on the bus, and it was like a 5 minute ride. At least that's what it felt like.
Oh yeah, it was, yeah, maybe 10.
Hmm.
It maybe felt like 10 because we were excited.
And there are 3 different resorts to choose from, 3 or
There's
4.
3 that surround the lake,
Oh, I forgot about
but
the
then there's
Disneyland
there's multiple. So to list them, there's the Disneyland Paris Hotel.
That's the big iconic pink one that's like in the park.
Yeah, you have to go under it to get to the park.
Can't miss it.
Then next closest is um,
The New
the
York.
New York Art of Marvel
Hmm.
hotel, which just got renovated to be Marvel. It used to
Hmm.
just be New York style. Now it's New York with Marvel. Next closest would be, I think technically Newport is the next closest. Think of that one more like if you know Disney World as Yon Beach Club. It's very similar to that.
Hmm.
Then Sequoia Lodge, which is Wilderness Lodge vibes.
Hmm.
Mixture between Wilderness Lodge and Fort Wilderness, more on the Wilderness Lodge side.
Hmm.
But then they have the other ones that,
Oh.
because there's like the Santa Fe,
Oh yeah,
which
I
is like,
forgot about all
I think
those.
that one's not Cars. That one's Toy Story, like Woody
Hmm.
themed, I think is Santa Fe. And then there's another one, and I can't remember
Yeah,
what that one is. And then there's like the Davy Crockett, like
I
campground type
forgot
stuff.
about all those. Those are just a little
Yeah,
bit. They're
they're
not in
far.
the area of where we
They're
stayed,
not walking
so
distance.
you
Those
do
ones you
have to
have to
take.
take the shuttle, or I guess drive if you have a car. But
Hmm.
you're
So we
driving in Paris.
decided to stay at Sequoia because it was a little bit of a shorter walk.
Yeah.
And yeah, all the New York one, Sequoia, and then what was the yacht and beach one called?
Newport.
Newport, all surround like this little lagoon that's right next to Disney Village.
Mm-hmm.
Very convenient.
Yes, very, very, very convenient. Which we'll talk about how fast the walk was, and
Hmm.
it was nice. It was good. But yeah. So,
Yeah. So
anyways,
we got there, and of course we had to go through security with all of our bags,
yes.
but it made me feel very safe, even
Mm-hmm.
though it was tedious. Like every time
And
you.
your luggage has to go through
Hmm.
security. Like they have giant security, like they do at the airport. Um, like if you've ever gone through, like we recently also went to Aulani, and in Hawaii, your luggage has to go through like that
Hmm.
agriculture inspection stuff. Like think of it as like that kind where you just plop it on there that goes quickly through and then it comes back.
Hmm.
Like it was very fast, very easy.
Hmm.
It felt very safe.
Yeah, just worth the 5 minutes that
Mm-hmm.
it took. And Sequoia Lodge, like we said, the theme is kind of wilderness lodge, like
Bambi.
in
It's
Bambi.
very
Yeah.
Bambi.
Really, really cute. Really happy with the accommodations, and our room was ready. We got to go up to it right away.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I checked us in and everything. Maddie went and did a little bit of filming and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and then, yeah, we went up to the room. We were pretty close to the lobby. I did request that to be a little close to the lobby because I did see how big the hotel kind of was.
Hmm.
And we had been walking so much in Paris that I was like, I'm kind of done walking. I want it as easy as possible right now. And so, yeah, we went up to the room and we just got a standard two bed. They're two full size. So I know with a lot of Disney World and Disneyland hotels or Disney Cruise Line, it's mostly queens,
Hmm.
some kings, but Disneyland Paris did full beds. So it was two full size beds. Our bathroom, which was pretty decent size, it had like a
Hmm.
bench and everything in there. Um, it was nice. They had some water for us, like bottled type water, which was very nice, and it was free. We did not have to pay for it. They had a coffee machine. They had a TV, all the stuff, and their key cards were so cute. Their key cards were themed to each hotel. So our key cards said
Hmm.
Sequoia Lodge on it, which was so fun. Like
Yeah.
Disney World, Disneyland,
Hmm.
don't do that. There's too many people coming in and out. But
Hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, the room is standard. It was a standard room, but it was very nice.
Hmm. And it was a good price, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we've got a package with park tickets and the
Hmm.
room. And for Disney, to me, it felt very
Yeah.
affordable.
And it's nice with Disneyland Paris, they do kind of still have reservation system. If you book, if you buy just single tickets, you do have to still make like a reservation.
Mm.
But if you go through the, but if you book a package to the hotel, you don't have to do any of that. So it's
Oh, that's nice.
automatically just given to you for your dates. The only thing about Disneyland Paris is that you cannot book, you can't really modify your package. So, like at Disney World, you could book a 7 day vacation and only go to the parks 5 days. At Disneyland Paris, every day that you're at the hotel, you have to have a ticket for. So, we were there for two
Hmm.
nights. So, we had three tickets,
But
three
we
day
only
tickets, but we only
used
used it twice
two.
because we didn't use it the
Yeah.
last day.
We thought about the last day. We had to catch a train. Well, actually, Casey was flying back to the States, and I was going on with my mom. My mom was on the trip with us to London. So we had to catch trains and planes, or else. But we did think, like,
Mm-hmm.
do we just pop into the park just for like 5 minutes to say goodbye? But
To ride Phantom Manor one last
yeah,
time.
to use our ticket that we had to have. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we dropped off our bags, rested a little bit, and by then we left Paris around 10 a.m. and
Yeah,
it
it was
was
10
like
a.m.
12:30, 1 o'clock, which that's pretty good in my opinion.
I think
Like,
it was 1:30 when we walked out of the room.
yeah,
Because I think we arrived to Disneyland Paris around 12:50.
yes. So it was about a 15-minute walk from Sequoia to,
Tops, yeah, 15
yeah,
minutes tops.
and we had to go through security to get into Disney Village, walk through Disney Village, and then you can either go right to Disneyland Paris or left into Walt Disney Studios, soon to be called. Do you remember? I put you on the spot. Do you remember the new name?
Disney Disney Adventure, Disney Adventure World.
We'll put in uh, down below
We can look
what
it
the
up
new
real
name
fast if you
is.
wanted to. I'll look it up. Maddie, you keep talking about it.
So of course we were going to Disneyland Paris first, and we got to walk under the iconic pink hotel. And our first mission of the day was food. We went over to, I don't know the exact name of it. It's hard to remember because they're all in French, but we went
Disney Adventure World.
Disney Adventure World. I'm really excited. If we ever get to go back someday, it will be
It will be
see the new.
specifically for that.
Yeah. And we ate at the Lady and the Tramp themed restaurant, and we got some pizza and the most amazing
And spaghetti.
Oh, and spaghetti, yeah,
Yes.
the most amazing garlic bread we've ever had in
Yeah,
our
when
lives.
we do our video about our favorite things about Disneyland
Mhm.
Paris, this will be in our top 5, most likely. I don't understand how good this garlic bread was.
I don't know if we were just really hungry or if it was really that
good. It might have been
Yeah.
a mixture of both. Because we'll talk about the Disneyland Paris food.
Yeah.
It's okay. it does the job. That's the best way. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay. It does the job. Nothing to write home about.
Hmm.
But yeah. Anyways, okay. So yeah. So we ate. Um,
Then I
and then
think
we
we went on Snow White because
yes, because this
so for Snow White was my first ever ride when I went to Disney World as a little kid for the first time. And then so we were like, it has to be my first. This was my first Disney park that wasn't at Walt Disney World. So we've kind of made it a tradition that I ride Snow White.
yeah. Somehow she went to Disneyland Paris before she went to Disneyland California
Hmm.
after being cast member for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So doesn't make much sense, but she did.
Hmm.
She also rode that her first time at Disneyland, but we'll talk about that too another
Yes.
time. Yeah, so we rode that. I think we might have just hopped right over to Pinocchio right after too.
Hmm.
Um,
Probably did most of the Fantasyland
yeah,
rides.
and then I think we just walked. I think we went over to Phantom Manor after that. I think we walked around for a little bit.
Oh yeah, we kind of had a must-do list for
Mm-hmm.
Disneyland Paris because it was during like their fall break, so we didn't know how busy it
Yes.
was going to be. We didn't know if we'd get lost and like miss most of our day. So like Snow White was a big deal for us, Big Thunder and Phantom Manor. I think those were and
Oh, hyperspace.
Hyperspace Mountain.
Hyperspace
Those
Mountain.
four rides, I believe, were like the only rides that were like, we have to do this. We got to do a ton more, but
Yes, we did a lot more, but
those
yeah,
were the
those were
priorities.
definitely the priorities for what we wanted to do. But yeah,
I think you're
I
right,
think that's
though.
what we
I
did. I
think
think we went to
we,
Phantom Manor.
mhm. And Phantom Manor, like, we are huge Haunted
So
Mansion
good.
fans, and Haunted Mansion has a very special place in our hearts, which we will probably get into in a different video. But it's Haunted Mansion is one of the reasons why we met, and so we were very excited to go on Phantom Manor. And it's hard for me to say, but I think it might be my favorite out of the three ones that I've been on out
Yeah.
of Disney World, Disneyland, and Paris.
She's never done Haunted Mansion Holiday.
Yeah.
I think Haunted Mansion Holiday might be better, but Phantom Manor is so much more unique of a
Mm-hmm.
storyline. It just has a very cohesive storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Like it makes sense. Unlike Disneyland and Disney Worlds where I think us as a community have kind of forced Disney into making it a
Mm-hmm.
storyline, even though I don't think there really was that cohesive of
Mm-hmm.
one to begin with. But no, Disneyland Paris is because their Frontierland is one big story. Their Big
Yeah,
Thunder Mountain, their Phantom Manor
they
are they
connected.
connect to each other, and
Mm-hmm.
that whole area does. Which that Frontierland is the best Frontierland as well.
Mm-hmm.
It is massive. It feels like a frontier. Like
Mm-hmm.
it put like Disneyland's is probably the next best. Disney World's is shameful.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so small and just is
You
what
know
it
what?
is.
I
But
forgot what we did before all of this. I can't remember if we did it before or after we ate. We went and saw the castle. And we
oh my
walked through the
gosh,
castle because
we
that
did.
that was the number one priority because this
Yeah, we,
castle is my favorite castle out of all of them. I just love how immersive and interactive it
it's
was. I think we did that before we ate, and
I
then we
think
were like, we need to get food before we get hangry.
yeah, I think we saw the castle, and I think we
Mm-hmm.
went back maybe after. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It was there's a gift shop in it. It's got a pretty cool walkthrough.
Yeah, the walkthrough is
It's
incredible.
just gorgeous castle, and underneath is the dragon, which I think we also saw that pretty early on
Yeah, I
too.
think
Like
we actually went to the dragon
we just
first.
I don't know why we were so intrigued by this dragon,
Hmm.
but we
I don't
loved the
know. We just
dragon.
love the what I love about this castle is like I love the idea at Disney World how there is a restaurant and there is Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo Boutique, how people can go in the castle, but I loved how this was open to everybody. You didn't need a dining reservation or go
Mm-hmm.
to the boutique. Like anybody could walk in and experience it and feel like they were in Sleeping Beauty's castle
And
without having to pay
when we say
extra.
anyone could walk through it.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to talk about that now
Yeah,
or talk about it a
yeah,
different time?
no, tell them.
So, my favorite Disney villain is Maleficent. I love Maleficent, but in all honesty, I am petrified of her. I am so scared of her. I have nightmares about her. Like Phantasmic is okay. I can handle that because she's so far away. But like Hocus Pocus show at like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party at Magic Kingdom, like that might be a little too close. So we're at the castle, Sleeping Beauty's castle in Disneyland Paris, and there's stained glass, and the stained glass tells the story of
Mhm.
what's happening. And there's a part. It's in the we're up there. It's right in the middle. We're staring out into the stained glass, and I see the silhouette of Maleficent and
Through the glass.
through the glass, and I was like, "Whoa, that's kind of cool." No, no, it was Maleficent outside on the balcony, and I was like, Maddie, Maleficent is
We
there. We'll have to
flipped out.
if you go to our very very beginning of our Instagram, you will see
Mhm.
we put that in there. It's one of our first videos, and it was so cool. And then we went out there so that we could see her because you can go out there.
Because the
And she,
character, she was roaming. She
Mhm.
was not doing a meet and greet with a queue.
Yeah. And so we went out there and we just watched her walk by, and I'm pretty sure I was frozen. I was so I don't know if it was a little bit of like when you see like your celebrity crushes, like being like, oh my gosh, it's
Mhm.
them. Also mixed with fear, but like that was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had inside a Disney park. Just like the silhouette in the stained glass in Sleeping Beauty's castle at Disneyland Paris. Like it was just,
It was so
it was
magical, and
wild.
like that's just what proves like on any Disney vacation, magic is going to happen without you having to force it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it will find you. You just have to, I don't know.
You just have to be open to it. You
Yeah.
know, you need to not stress. Like, and that's one of
Yeah.
the things we try to do. That's hence why we also can't remember exactly the order we did things because we really, like I said, we just had a must do's, and then we just kind of let
Yeah.
the day take us.
Because we just felt so lucky and grateful to even be there that it was like, we'll do what we can, and whatever
Mm-hmm.
we don't get done, no big deal.
Yeah,